Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader with a quick update on Bitcoin. But before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Here we have the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, and as you can see, we are continuing in this little ascending wedge action. We basically have found support and resistance on the bottom and the top of these red and blue trend lines respectively. And as you can see, I have the 4-hour 10 and 21 moving average cross, and you can see how that has been a clear indicator as to the direction of the trend. And every time we switched over, it was immediately met back up with a powerful move and crossed back over on the 4-hour time frame, preceded by obviously the 1 hour. And every time it's been at the bottom of this channel. And now as we've gotten exhausted here at the top of the channel and essentially started showing some weakness, we got that powerful sell-off and came down here to the 0.5 of this single move right here, like the essentially the bottom of the channel test up to the new high. And depending on what exchange you look at, we did actually put in a new high here on Coinbase, but if you look at like Bitstamp, it was the same high again. But that was like a really powerful candle. It sold straight back off, and we've essentially just been consolidating now in this area in the center of the range and right in between the 10 and 21 moving average. And on the shorter time frames, we tried to attempt to get the cross back up on like the 1 hour, but failed to do so here. So it looks like we're just going to tighten this range out, and then we'll probably get based on current price action, we'll probably get that push down here to the bottom of the channel again, and that 618, and I'll probably take a long position again off of that area and assume again that it's going to hold. That's a respectable golden pocket retrace. And we could essentially expect this same situation to happen again, where we get that cross back over, it sells off and starts to show weakness, and then we get a powerful move right back up. And I would expect this to continue happening until it doesn't, and just stick with like the current trend. Although we are starting to show some weakness, if we do start selling off violently, or we take out some of these key levels, basically like put in a new low down here off of this, and essentially like start turning around the micro trend, looking like we're going to do like an actual retrace of this wave rather than like this single little move right here. So we will definitely take that level by level if we start to see any kind of like violent sell-off coming in here. And if we switch over to our daily time frame, we can get a better idea, like indication of essentially like what we can expect. Once we got up here to the top and we took out the low essentially of that candle, it looked like we were putting in like a micro swing. We didn't get a powerful sell-off, but I would expect that we're going to at least come down here and touch the 10 on the daily, which is coming in at that 10,069 range again. And then if we took this low out here again, I would assume that we're going to come down here and essentially like test this range. Probably look for support somewhere in between like 9,800 and like 9,700. And again, we just have to kind of take that level by level and see where the moving averages are like coming into line. We have had a powerful move up here, and I don't think it's unlikely that we would get a retrace at some point in time. And if we were going to fib from the bottom all the way up here to the top, and we'll just turn that one green here real quick. If we basically looked at that, assume we were going to come down to like a 382 at some point in time, that would be 8,900. And if we're going to come all the way down to the bottom of the golden retrace zone in the 618, that's going to be 7,900. So it's not unrealistic to think that we could come down to like the 8,000-9,000 range, stay extremely bullish, find support, and they get a push back up to the upside. But I do think the 200 moving averages on the daily are going to become like stronger and stronger support as they move up here higher, and we can stay like above them for a longer amount of time. We basically are turning the slope around on the 200 simple, and we're going to get like this darker green cross on the darker blue here at some point in time in the near future. Those are essentially the simple moving averages crossing over. They're on like a little bit of a lag over our brighter green and brighter blue cross that we got right back here. So, and as you can see, we essentially try to come back down and test the 200 simple after we got the golden cross, and we immediately got a powerful move up from 9,100 up to like that 10.5 range. So this market is still looking bullish. There's no reason to think that it's not going to like continue to find support on the daily if we come down here to the 21, even if the 10 does break. So I think realistically we should keep our eye on like the key levels are probably like the 10,000 range and that 9650 range. And essentially we just watch how the market reacts, and essentially look for it to continue doing what it's doing. If it starts all of a sudden like violently selling off to the downside or violently moving to the upside, we can play it by ear. Otherwise, this is like basically just a continuous consolidation and move up. Basically it's like a bullish trend starting to form, and as we like consolidate after each little impulse that we get up, it's building the trend like stronger and stronger, and it's going to give more confidence to people that we're not just getting like massive sell-off candles. And I did say something at the end of the previous video that I almost like edited out because it cut off like what I was saying at the end about it not being manipulation. And essentially what I was trying to, and it was funny because people had commented on it. I like didn't even think people listened to the entire videos. I figured people just kind of like cut off the end or fast forward through or whatever. But I do always say like something really important at the end of the video, so it's interesting to see who commented on that. But essentially I was just saying I didn't think it was manipulation. I just thought it was like real thin order books is what's causing like these violent moves like this. And it's also like the market cap, like everybody talks about how big it is and everything, and we're up to like that 300 billion and everything, but that's tiny in the like it's a drop in the bucket in like real markets, and a small amount of money in the real markets can move crypto like in a big way. So that's why it's important to kind of keep your eyes on things and realize that because there isn't like the regulation in the same way and everything, and it is still like tiny little market caps, we do have to be really careful when we see those moves. And then of course when this violent move happened right here, after I made that video actually, when this violent move happened right here and we got that sell off and then this like massive burst up here, oh no wait, I'm sorry, I think it was during this move here, I'm sorry, it was during this move here when I made that video and I was talking about it wasn't manipulation, etc., etc. We got this violent move up here, and that was of course while one of the top exchanges was closed. So anybody that was like in an open position in this situation, probably could not adjust their situation, could not take profits, could not enter new positions, could not close positions. So I think that a lot of this, in a sense, after I said that it wasn't manipulation, I think a lot of this actually was manipulation, because I have noticed that many times in the past where one exchange is getting ready to close down for maintenance and there will be a massive move in that time, and I think that's because like resting orders on the books and everything like can't be adjusted, and people essentially are just getting like stopped out or not able to get into the position. So then once it does like reopen trading, they have to chase the books, and then that can cause like a breakout of a key zone. So but I did just want to comment on that because I noticed a couple of you guys had mentioned it. So just like you guys stay till the end and listen, I read all the comments, so appreciate that. And that's Crypto Trend Trader, and I'm out of here.